Have you ever wondered what really goes on inside a secret society? Well, today we are unlocking the door to one of the most famous of them all, the Freemasons. We're going to walk through the very first steps of their initiation ritual, all thanks to this fascinating and pretty controversial 19th century book that claimed to expose everything. So let's step through that door and see what it has to say.
So here's our guide. It's an actual historical document that promises to pull back the curtain on ceremonies that, were never meant for public eyes. We're going to follow the journey of a brand new candidate, what they call an entered apprentice, exactly how this book describes it.
And this book, it doesn't pull any punches. I mean, look at its own title page. It's incredibly bold, calling itself a ritual and illustrations, basically telling you right from the start that you're about to see the real, unvarnished secrets of the lodge.
Which brings us to the big question here. Let's forget all the speculation and conspiracy theories for just a minute. According to this text, what actually happens when you get chosen to join? Let's follow the steps.
Okay, so our journey begins inside the lodge room itself, right before the ritual to initiate a new member is about to kick off. The scene is set very, very carefully, and pretty much every single detail is loaded with symbolism.
So, this room is designed to represent the ground floor of the legendary King Solomon's Temple. And according to the text, you need at least 7 Freemasons to even form a lodge. Once they're all gathered and the officers are in their seats, the work can officially begin.
But wait, before any business gets started, there's a really important protocol. The master of the lodge asks his junior deacon what the first care of congregated Masons is, and the answer is always the same: to see the lodge tiled.
That word tiled is fascinating, right? It just means secured. A guard, called the tiler, stands outside the door holding a drawn sword, and his job is super specific: to keep away all cowens and eavesdroppers. In other words, anyone who's not initiated and anyone trying to spy. Secrecy is everything, right from the very first step.
So, with the room secured, let's meet the key players who are running this ceremony. And these aren't just job titles. Each officer has a specific, almost poetic duty to perform, and it's all tied to the symbolism of the sun.
First, you've got the junior warden, who's stationed in the south. His role is connected to the sun at its highest point, at high noon. He's the one who calls the members from their work to take a break, and then from their break back to work again, making sure the day is perfectly balanced.
Now, over in the west, mirroring the setting sun, is the senior warden. His job is to help open and close the lodge, and symbolically, he's the one who pays the craft their wages. It's all about making sure every member leaves satisfied. The main goal here is harmony.
And finally, in the east, where the sun rises, you have the leader, the worshipful master. He's the one who opens the lodge, just like the sun opens the day, and he's the one who sets everyone to work with their instructions. He is the ultimate authority in that room.
All right, so the lodge is officially open and totally secure. Now we get to the first major event of the evening, the vote. A candidate has been proposed, a Mr. James Dupeasy, according to our text, and now the members have to decide his fate.
And this whole process is about complete secrecy. Every member gets one white ball for yes and one black ball for no. They walk up to the ballot box one by one and drop in their choice without anyone else seeing. And get this, just one single black ball is often enough to reject a candidate. The box then goes from the master to both wardens so they can inspect the results.
After the inspection, the wardens declare the result. And tonight, for our Mr. Dupeasy, the news is good. The ballot is clear, which means it was unanimous. Not a single black ball was cast. He's in.
But being accepted? Well, that's just the beginning. Now the candidate actually has to be prepared for the ceremony. This all happens in a separate room, and this is where the ritual starts to take a very strange and maybe even unsettling turn.
As the deacons start getting Mr. Dupeasy ready, they make one thing absolutely clear. This is not a prank. Any kind of humor or bravado from the candidate is immediately shut down with this stern reminder: we don't joke with candidates. The seriousness of this moment is non-negotiable. So the way the candidate is dressed is very specific. He's stripped of most of his clothes. No coat, no shoes, no vest. He's given a pair of drawers to wear. Then, his left arm is taken out of his shirt sleeve, and his left breast is left exposed. It's a process of being physically and symbolically humbled. Next, a blindfold, which the Masons call a hoodwink, is tied tightly over his eyes, and this represents a huge theme of the ritual. The candidate is in a state of darkness, both literally and metaphorically, and he's there because he's seeking light.
The very last piece of his preparation is something called the cable tow. It's a rope which is looped and then placed around his neck. So now he's blind, he's half-dressed, and he's bound. It's a symbol of complete trust and submission to the lodge he's about to enter.
So with the candidate fully prepared, in this state of darkness and vulnerability, he is led by the deacon to the one place he hasn't been yet, the actual door of the lodge room. He is at the final threshold.
And he doesn't just knock. The ritual demands a very specific signal. The deacon guides his hand to give 3 distinct knocks on the door. This is the alarm, the signal that announces his arrival to all the Masons waiting inside.
From inside that sealed room, a challenge rings out, and it's repeated 3 times. Who comes here? It's a formal, pretty intimidating question, demanding to know who dares to disturb their secret work.
And the answer, spoken for the candidate, just perfectly captures his whole situation. He's identified as a poor blind candidate, someone who has wanted for a long time to move from a state of ignorance or darkness into the knowledge or light of Freemasonry.
And that's where this part of the ritual leaves us, standing at the door, blind, bound, having just declared his purpose. It really makes you wonder, if this is just how the journey begins, what other ceremonies and oaths and trials does someone have to go through to finally be brought to light?